Well, hello there. I'm Rebecca Robeson. Welcome to Kenwoven, another Christmas decorating video for you today. This one is one of my favorite subjects. It's all on accessorizing. I'm going to walk you through everything that I did in my living room and how I accessorized it. I hope it's helpful for you. I want to say a special thank you to Cricut for sponsoring this video today. They allowed me to do more accessorizing than I thought possible. So stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to show you what I did in my kitchen that is fabulous and I absolutely love. I trust that you guys have been enjoying our Christmas videos this year, the series that I have put up, as well as the series that Shara has put up on the Kenwoven home. If you haven't seen those, you should go watch them. We have so many ideas for you that you can use in your home, and our styles are so very different. Mine is very rich and warm and dark colors and jewel tones, and Shara's is very white. Actually, what we call the Kenwoven colors, kind of white and teak color together. So diametrically different from each other, but equally beautiful and equally our own style. And that's what your Christmas home should be as well. It should reflect your style. Let's get started with some of the ideas and things you're going to want to think about. The first thing you need to do is you're going to need to get rid of the things that you normally have out in your house during the year. Why? Because if I brought all my Christmas stuff in and left what was normally there still in place, this place would be a menagerie and a hot mess. I'm starting with this light and I'm going to match it on the other side. It'll be like completely exact. So some things are, but other things are not. Now the reason I'm starting here is because I need to be able to drop the cord down. So anything that's going to be lit that's not battery operated needs to be plugged in first, because after that, if you're sitting here trying to shake this thing to get your cord back there, then some of your beautiful things could fall and break. We don't want to do that. Try to avoid seeing this. So I put sticky tack, because I don't want these to roll around, on the bottom. And it's better than using something like hot glue, which means you'll never be able to use this thing again. Just decorating these etagere bookcases was challenging. First off, it doesn't have any natural light in it. So we had to be creative and come up with ways that we could add light to the bookcase. Also, it's a pair, and if it's a pair, I like to do things that are not necessarily identical, but that are complementary with each other. One side has this, the other side has this, and there's a connection between the two. I have found that when you do something different on every single shelf, you end up with a lot of things, and it's a lot for people to absorb and to look at. Now, maybe that's your style. Maybe you like that. If you do, knock yourself out. But if you'd like it to look purposeful and planned and absolutely beautiful, I would suggest that you buy things in pairs. I used to back in the day buy one of something, and mostly because that's all I could afford. But when I could afford to buy two, I found that I often had another place in my house that I could use it, or like in my etagères, I could have one on either side and it would bring balance. Adding a little touch of the green picks that you're using throughout your garlands and other accessories in your home will create a continuity from room to room and from item to item, so you don't feel so overwhelmed. When I first did the accessorizing in here, I really pulled and wanted to play off of the color of these pillows that are on my chairs. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. So I tried to find other items within my decorating supplies that had that color to pull it in and give it balance throughout the room. When I was finished, I stepped back and I looked at it and I was not happy with it. You know why? Because my Christmas tree is jewel tones. And yes, this color is one of the jewel tones. But the rest of the jewel tones had not been included in my accessorizing in this room. And since you can see the tree from this room, I decided I needed to bring in the other jewel tones as well.
So by clumping some balls together, putting more of the jewel tone balls in the garland, for example, that kind of thing just now brought balance throughout the spaces. The main accessory, which isn't really an accessory, but it is what started the theme for this entire room, was my horse painting. Once I had finalized my theme for Christmas this year, which was going to be musical instruments or anything that has to do with music, it became very clear that using those little musical aspects, even on the coffee table, this flute, those kinds of things just add so much legitimacy. It doesn't feel kitschy like, you know, cutesy little Christmas decorations, but it ties in beautifully with the Christmas decorations. One piece of advice I would give you is edit. I have found that I end up pulling some things out, taking some things away. For example, this coffee table, during the accessorizing process, had a lot more on it than it does now. I finally ended up by taking one of the lanterns off, and I added the flute to the table. Again, tying in that theme. And here's another thing I learned. When I had people over just recently and we were sitting across from each other, my centerpiece was too high for entertainment and a conversational area. So it doesn't mean you can't use it. This isn't a room you're sitting there watching television. This is a conversation room. But when your guests come over and you sit down at the table, in this case, I would just take the lantern and put it right next to the fireplace. And then it's a perfect see-through area. And it still looks festive. One last major place that I need to take care of is this credenza here. Oh my gosh. You guys have never seen this reindeer before. You know I love reindeer. Well, my neighbor, Cheryl, a lot of you know who Cheryl is because you follow me on Instagram. By the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, what's the deal? Dealio. All right, she let me borrow her. She kept saying, you want to borrow my black reindeer? And I'm like, I don't know. And then I saw it and I'm like, yeah, I want to borrow your black reindeer. This was too heavy. I actually bought it for my tree and I realized, well, that was dumb. Saxophones are heavy, would never go on a tree. Where else could I put it? How could I use it? And this right here, I'm using the sticky tack again because I don't want this to scoot. This will keep it here. And look how perfect the deer is to hold it up. And then the like mouth part comes over. Super cute, don't you think? Christ is born. So when it comes to accessorizing, obviously I did my entire bottom floor. But you're gonna have to come back to see that. But I wanted to show you just one thing, just a sneak peek. Here in my kitchen, I decided to accessorize my countertop. And when I did, I finished it and I looked back and said, something is missing. Well, I put up this amazing moose painting. It's actually a print. And then I did 3 different kinds of Christmas trees that were represented in my house totally, as well as this really great bottle right here. I think it's supposed to look like a particular bottle of a particular kind of thing. But I also added this little star on top. And you know what? It's cute. It's really clean. It goes well with my white kitchen. But this corner over here was missing something until I got my own Cricut. And I created the most amazing sign. Do you love this? Comfort and joy. It's musical, if you think about it, but what happens in a kitchen? Comfort and joy. I mean, come on. And you know what, guys? I have never used a Cricut before. This was my first time. It was so much fun. I can tell you right now, I think I might become one of those Cricketeers. I don't know, they probably have a name for them. But there are people who are, it's a thing. Like there's a whole movement of people that do the most amazing things on the Cricut machine because the Cricut machine is like, well, Shara said it in one of her videos, it's like a CNC machine. And if you don't know what that is, I can tell you as an interior designer, I ran into it a lot with cabinet makers. They create their pattern and then they put it in the computer and this machine cuts out the wood. Well, the same thing is true here, only it is available and applicable to things that you'd want to do in your home. When I set everything up and got on my computer, I was shocked at how fast I was able to do this. I went to the Cricut website, I looked at all of the things that they already had, and you know what, they had a package with Comfort and Joy in this font on it as an example. It was gift wrap. And it was from that I was inspired to take those same letters and make them huge and apply them to my wall. And I think it absolutely made this whole thing. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. If you've never done Cricut before, I would highly encourage you to take a look at it. They have a website, just check it out. There'll be a link in the description box below that will help you through the process of if something like this is something you'd be interested in doing. The sky's the limit from what I understand. In fact, you know how I had my sale video, the designer surplus sale, and we all had matching t-shirts? That was done on a Cricut. So now, next time I do something like that, I might just make my own t-shirts. Not kidding. I think I might become a crazy person. Would you like a mug with your initials on it? Because I can do that. You can use paper, you can use fabric, you can use wood, you can use, gosh, I think there's probably a bazillion things that you can use, but those are just to name a few. You can deboss. You know what that is? You know what embossing is? That's making it raise. You can make it go under. You can, deboss, you can engrave. Like, I just think that I'm probably gonna turn into one of those crazy people who just does this all day long. Like I'm saying, you don't want a mug? How about a plate? Would you like a plate with your name on it? I can do that. When I think back about this Christmas, my first Christmas here in Tulsa, and I look around the house, I will have very fond memories of the experience of decorating with my friends, Peter and with Sarah. Honestly, we had a blast. We were up till all hours of the night and we just worked our tails off for 5 straight days. I don't even think I fed them. You could ask, they'll probably tell you I didn't. Just know that a lot of the things you see here, I got from Shinoda Design Center. I always want to give them a shout out because they have been the best source for me forever. And if you're interested in anything that you see or you want to find it, be sure to contact them because they can let you know. I will see you next time. Remember, the reveal of my entire house. I don't know what order these videos are going to go up, but I do know the Christmas trees first. And I know the reveal is at the end and then the outdoors. So somewhere in there, it's getting close. And Christmas is coming like a locomotive. So get off your butt, go out, get your tree, and get started. All right, you guys. I'll see you next time. I love you. Bye-bye.
Making our Christmas memories.
Thank you very much, Cricut.
I thought you were being serious.
I hear.
I was like, hang on, let me get the...
Is that what a Cricut sounds like? I want to give a special thank you today for Cricut for sponsoring this video.